What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I got a special one for you guys today. It's it's something that I've been wanting to get done, and I think it's time to let you guys see it all. So basically what happens is if you can see, the stock wheels are off of the BMW E90 335D, and what we have here today is something gorgeous. So the wheels off of the Camaro actually bolt up to the E90, so it's pretty sweet. The fitment on it's nice, I can't even complain. I'll go into detail on that here in a second. The second thing I want to show you guys is my new toy that I just picked up yesterday. So it's a 2019 DRZ 400 SM, and I've been wanting one of these for a while. It's gonna be basically my new commuter for the most part. I'm gonna try to keep the Beamer back here at the house so the wife can drive it as much as possible, and then we'll try to move the Tahoe on down the road. So I'll try to keep this video nice and short for you guys. I kind of wanted to go over for the BMW guys as well, the procedure and stuff I had to do to get the wheels to fit on the BMW. But yeah, I'll keep you guys up to date on this bad boy. I already ripped off a bunch of stuff on it that I didn't really like up here it had some reflectors hanging off the fenders, and it had some mirrors up on there, and then it used to have like a seat strap thing that went across here, and a big old bag for you to put your stuff in there. I took all that crap off and got it looking a little cleaner. Basically the first order of business, like most people, is to get rid of this garbage. So I'll get a fender eliminator kit for it, an integrated tail light, and get it all nice and clean looking. And then probably I'm going to keep it basic. Just the intake mod they do a 3x3 intake cutout for the more air for the carburetor, and rejet the carburetor and exhaust, and that's pretty much how I'm going to leave this thing. I don't want to go too crazy. Hadn't decided yet, might change this headlight, the whole traditional 1980s looking headlight. A lot of guys are doing stuff from the newer model KLMs and stuff like that, so I might put a different headlight on it just to kind of give it that different look, and that's it. Just drive the shit out of this thing. So it's pretty sweet. So back to the E90 for all you BMW guys. What I end up having to do for the 15-inch wheels to fit over the brakes on the 335D, which is going to be pretty much the same for all you E90 guys for the most part. All you BMW gurus can correct me on a couple of these, but basically what I had to do, I had to order a set of E90 328i rear calipers and a set of E39 5 series 298 millimeter rotors, and then basically when I got the other rotors, the stock wheels, stock calipers and rotors off, I ended up having to use a very small spacer, something like it had to have been about a 5 millimeter spacer behind the caliper brackets on these brackets for it to clear on the diameter, or not the diameter, but the spacing of the rotor, because once you switch to these rotors you actually end up losing a little bit of basically back spacing from the factory 335. So that's pretty much it on that. And then the wheels bolted right on. Now a lot of people are probably going to criticize me on this, but it's the the Fbody Camaro R5 by 4 3/4, which equates to a 5 by 120.65, and then as we all know, BMW has 5 by 120 even. So there's a lot of online controversy if the wheels would fit, if they won't fit, and I'm here to tell you that this is sitting right in front of you. This is what these are. These were actually the wheels for the Camaro when I bought the Camaro, as you guys see in a lot of the other videos. I just wanted to see if they would work on this. The back spacing and everything is on point for this thing. I mean, it's absolutely flawless. So as you can tell, I mean, it's just perfect fitment, right? Same for the rear. Now this is a 26, right? So this is a 275 50 15. That's actually the set of the wheels, the tires that were on the wheels, so it actually worked out perfect. And I mean, as you can tell, I mean, it looks like the car is almost lowered and it's actually sitting at stock height. So it's kind of crazy on how these wheels soaked up some of the wheel gap that I had on the car. So another thing with the BMW that I just got done is I finally got all the nitrous stuff hooked up to it. So I've got the 50 jet in it right now, and I'm gonna put these wheels in, obviously got the wheels and tires on them, so I'm gonna go out for a little quick spin here in a little bit, maybe go grab some lunch, and you know, get this thing right. I'm gonna try to give it a test hit and see how this thing does. So the only thing I really would like to do a little later is either try to figure out if Weld has some sort of center caps for the rears, and then if not, I'm just gonna take and sand some of this stuff down, make it nice and better looking, and then I'm gonna hit it with some black paint, so that way it doesn't look as atrocious with that rusty hub sticking through. But I mean, aside from that, guys, this thing, I mean, I'm ready to go hit the track. Unfortunately, I was planning on going to the track tomorrow, getting you guys some footage of the second outing of the E90, and it's looking like it's probably gonna rain. So that's really why I bolted the wheels on it today. It's beautiful out. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous, no wind really, and it's prime time weather. So I'm gonna try to go make a couple hits and see how this thing does, and I'll report back to you guys. But I just want to let you guys know that this was the, you know, some of the guys were asking about fitment on the E90 for these wheels. And so the fronts are 17 by 4s or 3.5s for 4s, I can't remember. They're from Weld for an Fbody. So whatever the Fbody specs are is what these wheels are. I do know that the rears are a 15 by 10 with a 7.5-inch backspace on 5 by 120, which, so I even called Weld. They actually don't even make a 5 by 120 center, because as you can tell, these are 3-piece wheels, so you can take and unbolt them, and I was gonna take and change out the center section and buy just the centers that are a 5 by 120 even. And then if I wanted to run the wheels on the Beamer, I was gonna take and just unbolt these and put the center on for the Beamer. But basically, as you can tell, I mean, they bolted right on. So another thing I want to point out too is that these wheels, Weld specifics, they are not hub centric wheels. All right, Weld wheels are lug centric, meaning that the wheels center up on the position of the lug nuts and not the hub. So as you can tell, the hub is actually smaller than the cutout on the wheel. So what that means is that these are a shank design lug. They're not a traditional like 60-degree acorn. And what happens is so when you start to put these on, you know, they're just a straight center, and they go into the wheel about this long. And anyway, that is all. It's not really concerning to me as far as if they're centered up, because I mean, the lugs center them up. So some of these guys that are, you know, not familiar with offsets and backspacing and centering and stuff of wheels, that's why you don't see any type of like hub centric rings on these wheels, is because Weld wheels are lug centric to the lug nuts. So I just wanted to point that out. There's no need to run any type of hub centering wheels or rings on these wheels. Now if you ran a different type of wheels, or it's a acorn style traditional, you know, 60-degree seat, then you'll have to run some sort of hub centering ring. So as far as these, there's no need. So 185 55 17 on the front, which is these are M&H Roadmasters. A lot of people run them on the Welds. I think it ends up becoming about a 26-inch tall tire, which is the same as the rear. Like I said, 275 50 15, which is about a 26 and some change, which is almost identical to the overall tire height on the stock wheels on the Beamer. So it actually, you know, the gearing and such is not going to be necessarily changed, and the car should still, you know, highway speed, stuff like that, speedometer be accurate and all that stuff. So I'm gonna get out and give this thing a blast, and I will report back to you guys and let you guys know something. Okay, right. So hey guys, actually back with you here inside the house. I forgot to make a little outro earlier on the first part of the video. Just definitely wanted to come back and touch base with you guys on how the car did. So took it out, hit it a couple times on the nitrous, and it did very well. I was actually kind of shocked on just that small jet on how well the car reacted. So a couple things I wanted to point out additionally to the first part of the video was that I forgot to mention a couple things about the wheels on the Beamer. So one thing you're going to have to do if you decide to run a set of Weld wheels on the BMW is switch from lug bolts to lug, traditional lug studs. So I bought the screw-in type. You just pull the bolt out, remove the wheel, and then you throw a little Loctite on the screw-in stud, and you screw it in, lock it down, that's good to go. So just keep that in mind, because the lug-centric shank type open-ended Weld lug nut that you end up running on a set of welds, you need to run a traditional stud. So that's the way. Like, you're not going to be able to use the factory BMW type of lug bolt unless you find a shank type lug bolt. So that was one of the things I wanted to point out. A second thing I wanted to point out was the fact that I forgot to mention that one other thing I had to do to the car to get the 15s to clear was at the very bottom of the lower control arm. I had to cut a very small amount off of it. I mean, it's like, I should have saved the piece and showed you, but it's a very small amount. So that had to be cut off. I had to grind it down smooth, good to go. So absolutely no clearance issues there. So, but as far as running the car, it did great. I did notice that after hitting it a few times, basically what you want to call like hot lapping on a track, I did notice some slight flash shifting between on the nitrous pulls. It flash shifted a couple times, even in the sport mode with Rod's tuning. So I'm going to reach out to Rod. Rod, if you watch the video, I'll be getting in touch with you and see if there's anything that we can do with the tune. But basically, I think there's maybe some slight tweaking with that. Maybe we can try to make it so it doesn't flash shift. So it's either, I've noticed one of two things. I feel that either my transmission is either starting to slip, which I'm going to be looking at doing a service on it here soon and seeing if there's some sort of maybe different fluid people are running for performance, and then doing a filter change on it, which we all know, keeping up with the service is great. So that's definitely going to get done on the car, but it's either blowing through the converter slightly, or it was slipping a little bit. I noticed that the car, not at first did it, but maybe, hot lapping it, like I'd pull out and do it a couple more times, and it felt that way. So I think, after every pass or something on the track, it's going to be beneficial to maybe stick a fan, pop the hood, stick a fan on, scroll fan or something down on the engine and then transmission tunnel, and try to get it cooled off as much as possible, because it, definitely didn't do quite as good as. Now, I will say that it was pretty crazy that I thought, without doing a burnout or whatever, the tires did exceptionally well, even for the street. I mean, it spun a little bit still in first gear. Like if you come off the start, dead stop, or even just a slight roll in first gear hit, it still decided to blow the tires off. So, but I'm definitely interested in getting a good healthy burnout, getting the car on like a prepped track, and getting after it. So, and I'll have to do that when the weather ends up cooperating. So we won't be able to go to the track tomorrow because it's going to be raining. It's got forecasted like 60 or 50% chance of rain all day long. So I ended up just pulling the wheels back off the car, putting the stock ones back on it, and it's back for just normal road use now. So, but definitely want to touch base back with you guys, so that way you guys were on the same page with that. And please hit that subscribe and like button so I can keep making these YouTube videos for you guys and moving the channel forward on the subscribers, and we'll move forward with that. So I think maybe the next video will probably either be the E90 at the track, or it will be probably the tear out of the interior on the Camaro, and then we will I will be moving forward with the roll cage. I'll get that ordered up and get that and starting installing. So all right, I will touch base with you guys here shortly, and we'll move on to the next video. Thank you.